Hey guys, welcome back. The title of this video is going to be why Elon Musk and Donald Trump are trying to crash the economy. Why Elon Musk and Donald Trump are trying to crash the economy. Okay, I know we're in a real tension time politically, right? One side is accusing the other side of whatever, and so on and so forth, right? I know there's a lot of tension out there, but I think we should take a step back and try to understand the bigger picture. Look at the bigger picture about things to try to understand, all right? So in a previous video, I did a comparison between Elon Musk and Paul Revere, right? What's happening today, I believe, is a modern day Tea Party, all right? It's a Tea Party to prevent this hidden tax that no one understands. And the hidden tax, it's called inflation, right? And inflation is caused from government printing, right? It's caused from government printing. Okay, we all kind of know that. We've heard that terminology before, all right? But I think there's a second reason why they're trying to crash the economy, okay? And it has to do with understanding the economic business cycle, guys. It has to do with the business cycle, okay? If you don't know what the business cycle is, let's talk about it for a second. All right, the business cycle is expansion and contraction, all right? Expansion and contraction is the business cycle, or boom and bust. You've heard that phrase before, right? The boom phase and the bust phase, all right? And the way it works is you typically take you take little stair steps up as you grow an economy and it expands. It's a slow process. It takes between 5 and 15 years. All right, it's a slow, little, tiny stair step up. And then guess what? We take the elevator down, guys. We take the elevator down, and that's typically how the boom and bust cycle works. All right, and what's happening with what's going on in our government is that Elon Musk and Donald Trump are at war with the government. It's corporations at war with the government. The government is a corporation itself, right? It's kind of like this business that has an infinite money printer, guys. All right? And what's happening is corporations are at war with the government, all right? What do I mean by that? Well, let's take a step back, all right? Let's look at a little bit of history here, all right? Let's go back 4 years. 4 years ago, right? We all know what happened, right? We had the pandemic, all right? And the government, including Donald Trump, signed off on a bunch of spending proposals, stimulus checks, so on and so forth, right? You know, when Donald Trump ended his career, the first term in the presidency, you know, they continued the spending. They continued and continued. And guess what happened, guys? Inflation went rampant. It went rampant, and in 2021, we saw a spike in interest rates, guys. The Federal Reserve said, no, 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 we're not letting this happen, right? The boom had went way too far, so let's try to bust it, right? The Federal Reserve tried to bust the inflation, but guess what? It didn't work, all right? Now, why didn't it work? All right, you saw in 2021, the growth stocks started to fall, all right? I was part of that trade. It was a mess, all right? I lost a lot of money in 2021 and 2022, all right? Well, when the growth stocks fell in 2021, the rates were still kind of going up a little bit, right? But then in 2022, what did we see? We saw the value stocks fall, all right? We saw the SPY fall 22%, guys. That's a big fall, all right? And what's happening was the stock market was pricing in a recession. They were pricing in a recession, but guess what? It didn't happen. It didn't happen, guys. I wonder why. Well, in 2022, all these companies, you remember this. If you don't remember, Meta and Facebook, or Meta and Tesla and Microsoft, they laid off thousands of employees, guys. Thousands. All right? And what happened was those companies were positioning themselves to deal with the recession, the bust. right? When the Federal Reserve does that, the companies were expecting a bust. And healthy companies lay off their employees to deal with the economic hardship, all right? But guess what happened? It didn't happen, right? It didn't happen. Now, there's a couple of reasons. One of them being the AI trade came along. OpenAI launched ChatGPT, and we had a bunch of spending on chips, all right? So that was one reason, okay? And that's just a fluke, in my opinion, all right? But the other reason the economy never fell was because the government lies about the job reports and they kept spending money, guys. They're not like normal companies. They don't need to be in position to lay off their workforce because they can just print more money, right? That's how it works. I'm not a libertarian by any means. I'm just trying to understand the bigger picture here. And the bigger picture here is the government decided not to lay off their employees when we had a contraction coming in the economy. The economy's been contracting for 3.5, 4 years. All right, and you can look at one stock. It's very simple. Look at Whirlpool stock, guys. I forget the ticker, just search it. Look at Whirlpool stock on a 5-year chart. Okay, that stock is down from that 2021 high all the way to today, and it hasn't recovered yet. It hasn't recovered yet because our economy is based on debt, guys. It's based on debt, and it's called the debt cycle, all right? That debt cycle has to work naturally, and the government creates an unnatural economic force. All right, that unnatural force of, hey, we'll just keep printing. We'll keep our people employed even though the economy is going to take a hit from high interest rates, right? And the Federal Reserve is going to keep rates high until they finally see a softening in the economy. Now, coming back to the government numbers of jobs this and jobs that, well, they actually think that Uber Eats and gig workers are real jobs, okay? They're not. They're not real jobs. They're just temp jobs, to be honest. No offense to you guys who are doing it full time, that's great. But a lot of people are picking up these jobs as side hustles just to make ends meet. And you're probably feeling it too. If you guys are full time, you're feeling it because everyone who's lost their job, the first thing they do is they go out and they call themselves an Uber Eats full-time driver, even though they're really not. And so the government doesn't see this uptick in unemployment. Well, guess what? Now they're going to. Now they're going to finally have some real job numbers because their own people are finally losing their jobs. That's what it's coming down to. And again, this is a war against corporations and the government because corporations rely on that debt cycle. They rely on low interest debt to grow the economy, for consumers to spend money on big ticket purchases like washers, like dryers, like Whirlpool sells, right guys? Or like Tesla sells. Okay, that stock is similar to Whirlpool if you pay attention. The only reason it went back up to like 300, 400 a share is because Elon Musk is tied in with Donald Trump and because they've got AI. People are starting to price in AI, these AI trades. So their business is still soft, guys, and so is GM and Ford and Chrysler and all these automakers. They're getting destroyed because the federal government kept the money printer going, and the Federal Reserve will not lower rates. They will not lower rates if they keep printing the money, okay? They keep the money going in the economy, all right? So that's why, unfortunately, for a lot of people, both the federal workers and the people who have contracts that are getting canceled, all these people are going to get laid off, all right? And we're going to see a softening of the economy. We're going to see a recession, okay? And we want that. We want deflation because this is unsustainable. No one can afford to buy a home for $500,000. Is that what the average price of a home is going to be, guys, if we keep this up? If we keep money printing, the price of homes will be $500K. And no one will have jobs to be able to afford that, to be honest. Only the rich will, the 1% who have assets and cash, right? They'll be able to afford those $500K, $2 million houses, whatever it is. All right, so that is why Elon Musk and Donald Trump are going to crash the economy, all right? They want the bust. The bust has not happened yet. And the Federal Reserve knows it, and all the wealthy people know it too. They understand this economic cycle, and it didn't play out the way it should have. All right, it was supposed to be a bust. You got to get those interest rates back down to a place where people can afford to take out debt, because we are a debt-based society. That's the bottom line, guys. Okay, so take a bigger, take a step back and think about what's happening, guys. It's all about economics at the end of the day. Look at Whirlpool stock. That's an American company. All right. And it's struggling. I think they just laid off a bunch more people, I don't know, like 6 months, 12 months ago. They're right down the road from where I live. They're on Lake Michigan. It's a great American company that, is struggling. And all these companies are struggling. All for what? So that the government can go spend money on, consulting and DEI programs. I'm not against DEI by any means, but these consulting programs are not going to build our economy. It just doesn't. All right? It's just, fluff training. All right, I looked through the contracts on the Doge website. You honestly should look through them. I mean, I saw one that was like Deloitte Consulting or something. All these consulting companies that go into the government, what, just for training? Really? And you're sitting here, you want to do all this training, but yet Whirlpool is getting destroyed. All right? That is why Donald Trump won. That's why he won, because people are seeing through the BS. All right, they're struggling out there. Everyone's getting laid off. Look at YouTube, guys. Look at the YouTube videos that go viral. Every one of them is about, I got laid off, I got laid off. And that's what it is, man. Everyone's getting laid off. This economy is not as good as the government is saying, okay? And again, I'm not a libertarian. I didn't even vote for Trump, but I get it. I get it now, sometimes it takes some time to come around, but for all those people who are not supporting what's happening, it's really sad. It's really sad that they don't want to actually see the forest through the trees, guys. See the forest through the trees. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't agree with half the stuff that, Elon and Trump are talking about half the time. I do believe in, having empathy for people. I really do. But I see what's going on, all right? And our economy is not as good as you think. Just look at Whirlpool stock, guys. Just do it. That tells you everything. That's the tell right there. I don't know if, Whirlpool is that great of a company. I think it still is. I think they still have good products, but that's why. No one's buying houses. No one's going out and buying used houses because the interest rates are too high. We need a crash. All right, that's the bottom line. They're going to crash the economy. We're going to have a nice bust, and be positioned, guys. Be positioned, be ready. We're going to see a softening now. This is no joke. All right, I don't know if we'll see a crash we might not see a crash in the stock market, to be honest, guys, because this stock market is based on AI, period. Do not pay attention to the Mag 7. Don't pay attention to the Mag 7 because it's not real, all right? That's a very niche market where all the money is going right now, okay? But if you look at other stocks, look at Whirlpool and look at Estee Lauder and all these other companies that are, down 50% from the peaks of 2021, there are still many companies that are still struggling from the interest rate spike that is still going on. We do not want to see stagflation for 5 years. That will destroy a lot of companies in the process. It won't destroy the Mag 7. They'll be fine. They're loaded with cash and they've got incoming cash flows, no problem, right? But we will have a lot of other nasty problems. Problems you don't even see when it comes to the stock market, guys. So that's my reasons for why I think Elon Musk and Donald Trump want to crash the economy. All right. Now, of course, if they do it and we do see a big drop, maybe in the stock market, maybe we will, the rich are going to get richer. That's the reality, guys. It is what it is. This is what America was based on. It was based on capitalism. I'm sorry to tell you, but be positioned. Be ready for this, okay? This is not a fear-mongering video. It's just the reality I'm seeing. I'm seeing the forest through the trees, guys. So I know I'm ranting a little bit, but that's the way I look at it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully you got something out of it. You know, maybe learned about the business cycle and what it's all about. It's all about debt. It's all about debt. That's what our country's about. And that's not going to stop anytime soon. So don't be surprised if you see the Federal Reserve start to lower rates a little quicker now. All right. Once they see these unemployment numbers go up, now that there's real federal workers getting their jobs lost, hey, maybe they'll up the numbers a little bit for once, huh? So anyways, pay attention to that. And everyone, have a great day. Take a look at my previous video if you could. Have a great day. Thanks. Bye.